Okay, good morning. We are doing an IFR flight today, Bankstown to Bankstown, about 3-hour duration, and we're going to do 5 different airports, 5 different approaches, mostly instrument approaches, all instrument approaches probably. And I thought we'll record the trip, and I like to do this as a way of kind of continually improving myself, but I found it useful during my training to watch other people do their instrument flying, and so if other people find it useful, that's great. Okay, so we're up to just getting the ATIS now, so we might just tune that in.
It is hand up there.
Variable at 5 knots. Visibility greater than 10 kilometers. Showers in the area. Cloud broken 3000. Broken 4200. Temperature 12. QNH 1023. On first contact with Bankstown Corona Tower. Notified of information Delta.
Delta.
Bankstown Terminal Information Delta. Runway 29 right for hours departures. Frequency 132.8. Runway 29 left for second training. Frequency 123.6. Runway 29 center news. Which variable at 5 knots. Visibility greater than 10 kilometers. Showers in the area. Cloud broken 3000. Broken 4200. Temperature 12. QNH 1023. On first contact with Bankstown. Ground extra parking.
All right, so we've got the ATIS 1023 is the QNH, so we'll put that in 1023, 10223. 2 times, and we're looking at about 30 feet there and 30 feet there, so that's within 60 feet tolerance that's required. We'll go back to the checklist, ATIS is received, and we'll get the clearance from ground shortly. No CTAF taxi call to make. We'll go to taxi detail on here now, so just hold the clear button. Okay. We'll get our position and taxi lights on. And strobe's already going, parking brake released. No one around. Still brake check. Brakes feel good. Okay, steering feels normal.
Backstage, John Lima with information Delta requesting.
We'll talk about the actual route from the run-up bay, and I'll show you on ForeFlight. I'm using ForeFlight. I really like it, and I find it's excellent for these kinds of IFR flights. Okay, turning left, horizon level in the turn, numbers are decreasing, skidding to the right, and compass is also spinning correctly. Okay, we're on ground. Bankstown ground, good morning, X-ray 42 is a Diamond DA40, IFR, Bankstown to Bankstown, 1 PRB, received Delta, request taxi, no clearance.
So he's taking the call sign?
X-ray 42.
X-ray 42, roger, taxi to the Alpha run-up bay. I don't have a plane in the system for you at the moment.
X-ray 42, I'll check it was submitted, but it could be under Victor Hotel, X-ray 42.
Just the map.
Well, that could be annoying. I can resubmit it from the run-up bay. But I definitely filed it last night. Click on flights, it says filed.
Zulu,
Alright.
on taxiway.
Parking brake set, seatbelts fastened, rear doors closed and latched, front canopy is closed and latched.
Received information, Delta request taxi.
Warning light is not on, engines are coming up to the green. Gearbox needs to be in the green. Fuel temperature is good and circuit breakers are all in. Electric elevator trim is working. Fuel selectors on normal. Flaps are set for takeoff. Flight controls are full and free. And rudder. We'll keep the power up a little bit. Air conditioning is off. Pitot heat we won't put on now. Transponder, we don't have a code yet.
Extra 42, you have managed to trace the flight plan. Just stand by for clearance.
X-ray 42. That's good. Okay. Not quite in the green on the gearbox. We'll get that in the green. We'll finish the run-up checks here, and then we'll talk through the plan for today. Okay, we're in the green on the gearbox. Oil temperature's almost in the green, and that's okay. So power's back to idle. Engines in the green, and ECU swap. A, switched over. Auto, switch back. B, nothing. And B, back to auto. That's what you expect. ECU test. Hold the button in. AB fail comes up. That's normal. Okay, the light's off.
X-ray 42 clearance available.
X-ray 42, go ahead.
X-ray 42 cleared to Bankstown by Richmond. Flight plan route. Bankstown 8 departure. Climb via CD to 3000. Score code 3703.
Clear to Bankstown via Richmond, flight plan route, Bankstown 8 departure, climb by SID 3000, score 3703, X-ray 42.
X-ray 42, thanks. A second, the POB.
PB's 1, X-ray 42.
Roger, report ready.
X-ray 42.
Mike Zulu,
3703 on the score, code 3703.
Thank you, Mike Zulu, go ahead.
3703,
Zulu,
3703.
via Bankstown, flight plan route.
Climb by
Bankstown 8
SID
departure.
3000, so we'll bug
to
3000.
Score code 3711.
And we'll load up the Bankstown 8 departure
Mike
shortly.
Zulu cleared to Kuma via Pexit
runway
flight
29,
plan
so we'll
route
put
on
29
a
for the heading.
Bankstown 8 departure. Climb on the SID to 3000 and the code is 3711.
Okay.
Mike Zulu, thank you, report ready.
Transponder set. We're in ground mode. It's white. MFD is on engine still, and iPad is charging. After clearance, we've got our flight plan. We can now send our flight plan from our iPad across to from ForeFlight to the G1000. So to do that, I've got it over here on our map. We'll talk about the plan in a minute. But if I hit this, go to edit, hit this button here, I can send to panel. It comes up saying press enter, and there it is. I can activate that, and we can have a look at that. Strangely, it starts at the end, but I'm going to we'll do a couple other things. So we'll load up a procedure now, and we'll select a departure. It's a Bankstown 8 departure, runway 29 center. So we'll load that. We'll also, while we're here, I know that the first approach I'm going to do is going to be Richmond, so we'll go and load that up as well. Okay, Richmond, and it's the ILS Zulu 28, and I'm going to assume Buffalo initial approach fix, and Barrow, just get that from the chart quickly just to get that done. Okay, Richmond ILS Zulu 28. 260 if we get the QNH. 260, there it is. So we'll load that. We can't activate it now, and we know that. Let's have a look at the plan against
ground flight 25, company pad, request taxi holding point.
Against our map.
Received Delta.
So we've got the Bankstown 8 departure. Then we've got
Taxi holding point Charlie,
Richmond, Bathurst, Rev Key,
Mike Zulu ready in the run-up, eh?
Mike Zulu, taxi.
Whiskey Bravo for Camden.
Contact
We've got Camden,
Taxi holding point
then down to User 2's a VFR waypoint, which is Appin, Wollongong, Shell Harbour, and then back via the Whiskey 252 to Dargie, and I'll fill in the details that are missing from the Yankee 20 because I'll need them for the step down. And then we've got the procedure for Richmond here as well, which we'll brief shortly. Okay, so the plan today, you might have picked up from that, is to track from Bankstown. We're going to go over to Richmond to do the ILS, which we're going to set up for, finish the setup for that shortly. Then we're going to head over to Bathurst to do an NDB approach into Bathurst. We've got an ADF fitted on this aircraft. After Bathurst, we're going to track via Revkey to the Camden Whiskey Bravo to do the RMP West Whiskey approach into Camden. From Camden, we'll do the published missed approach, and then we'll track to Appin, which is a VFR waypoint, and the reason I picked that is to avoid the Wilton area and to avoid the restricted area, and just to give us something in between. And then we'll track down to Wollongong Shell Harbour to do the DGA approach. And then after that, we'll track back over via the recommended route via Dargie and Yankee 20 back into Bankstown. I'm not sure whether we'll need to do the RMP into Bankstown, depends on how the weather is at that time. So that's the plan. What we can do on ForeFlight is we can go to the profile view, and this aircraft has no de-icing or anti-icing fitted. It's a DA40NG. So what we want to have a look at is where the icing levels are and where the clouds are. So it's a bit, it's scattered. It's not a huge amount of cloud out west today, but you can see there's a little bit of ice, and we don't need to go to 8,000 feet. We could actually level off at around 6,000 and really avoid that. And similarly, in the tail end, we can get below 6,000 for sections of that route, because we'll be within the MSA Bankstown. So generally that all looks pretty good, but it's definitely a risk today we need to manage is the icing risk. So we'll just keep that open, and we can keep that open as we're flying. So flight plan is activated, and we've checked it. ComNav radios are set, so we've got our departure set. We've got 1328. We'll bug 118.4. On here, we've got 1199. Well, actually, I know Richmond Tower is 1355, so I'll just put that in now. I've got 3,000 bugged for the SID. I've got 30 feet, 1023. I've got minimum set for the approach 260, which I need to get the weather for. I've got, I'll bring up the timer for departure. I've got the transponder on 3703 in ground mode. I've got bugged the heading of 290 for the runway. That's pointing in the right direction. I've got 2 miles on range. For the traffic screen, I've got unrestricted, and outside temperature looks good. Ground speed 0. So that all looks good. Scoreboard's good. Altitude and heading's bugged. Minimums are set. Transponder is good. Traffic's unrestricted. Aid, SIDO, wind will be on components mode once we take off. Do our autopilot check, so make sure autopilot engages. I'm not going to try and fiddle with all the settings, but I'll just make sure control wheel steering works and that the disengage works. It does. We don't need any lighting on other than our taxi lights, position lights. Really, we could turn the taxi lights off for the time being, but we'll just leave them on. Fuel selectors on normal, altimeters are set, and standby horizon looks good. Nothing to cage there with the digital. So looking then at our chart, so we're departing on the Bankstown 8 departure, so we can have a quick look at that. Bankstown 8 departure, here it is, runway 29. So track 291 at 500 feet, turn left, track 290, contact departures, and we expect 118.4. So that's already all set, so basically straight out from runway 29. Let's have a look now at the Richmond, which is the first airport we're going to be coming into, ILS Zulu runway 28. So ATIS, we can actually get the ATIS through here. So Richmond, digital ATIS, it's Bravo, 42 minutes ago. Expect visual approach, runway 28 is good, that's the runway for the ILS. Winds variable 5 knots, cloud few 2,600, temperature 11, and QNH 1023, which we've already got set times 2. And the approach frequency is 135.9, which we'll need afterwards. So that all looks, so we got the weather. It was Bravo. Just take a note of Bravo, just in case I forget. And we've got QNH already set for that, so that's good. So rest of the briefing, so Richmond ILS Zulu runway 28. We've got the ATIS, AWIS we don't need. Sydney approach we've got, we'll use afterwards. and Sydney Centre we won't need, I don't think. Richmond Tower we've got bugged on COM2 standby. CTAF and ground we won't need. Localizer 111.9 is already tuned times 2, nav 1 and 2. Final approach course is 275. Pebra's 1640 is the final approach fix. Decision altitude is 260, which I can continue with now because I've got the weather and I've got the right QNH. Airport elevation is 67 feet. I'll come back to the missed approach because it'll probably change anyway, but we're basically expecting to be, we're here, we're already on the map, we're going to track in probably to Buffalo, is normally what happens, and then we'll pick up the final approach course 275 and intercept the localizer and start our descent. I'm going to hand fly it down the glide slope, and we should be 1640 by Pebra. 260 is our minimum. We're expecting today it'll be a missed approach, and when we do the missed approach, we'll either expect a Richmond 3 departure, a visual departure, or the published missed approach. The published missed approach is track 275 at 500 feet, turn right, track 020, and climb 3,300. What tends to happen is they'll give us a Richmond 3 or a visual departure, which means we track to the departure into the runway, climb, and when we're above 1,000 feet, if we're not above 1,000 feet by the departure runway, we turn right into 285. If we are above, once we're above 1,000 feet, we can turn onto the outbound course, which is usually direct Bathurst, or our route to Bathurst, depending on what they give us. Okay, so that's briefed. So I'm happy with all that. Go back to the checklist now. So charts we've done, terrain we're good, 2,500 out to 15 nautical miles of Bankstown. Weather, we've talked about, we've looked at the wind, an ATIS, cloud, a little bit of cloud around, visibility is generally okay other than potential showers, and icing is the key risk today. I'll finish off the rest of this brief as we taxi down, just to speed things up. So flaps are set for takeoff, fuel pump can come on now. Air conditioning is off, I'll press the toga button for takeoff, ready in the bay. X-ray 42 is ready in the bay.
X-ray 42, taxi Alpha 8, hold short 29 right, contact tower.
Taxi to Alpha 8, hold short 29 right, contact tower, X-ray 42. Okay, parking brakes released. No one's coming, let's go. Right, so board today, we've talked about the departure generally, but we're going to apply full power. We're going to be making sure there's no issues on the annunciator panel. We'll look for 98% power at least on the load. We'll rotate at 65 knots and we'll climb out at 72 knots with the first stage of flap. At 300 feet, positive rate, we'll retract the flap. We should then accelerate to 88 knots, and that's our best climb. If we have any issues prior to rotating, we'll close the throttle, use the brakes, come to a stop, call ATC. If we've rotated with runway remaining, we'll close the throttle and use the remaining runway to land on and the overrun. If there's no runway remaining, we're airborne below 1,000 feet, we'll be looking for our best glide of 88 knots, pitching for that. And we'll be looking for somewhere 30 degrees either side of the nose for a emergency landing, and then we'll do our shutdown check. So we'll turn the fuel off, we'll turn the engine master off, fuel pump off, and we'll turn the electric master off once we've set our flaps. If we, sorry, I've just got Alpha 8 on the glass and on the grass. If we are above 1,000 feet, we'll attempt to turn back to Bankstown, and I'll turn today to the left. There's no wind, so I'll turn to the left, give me best visibility. I'll be pretty much on the stall speed is 88 knots at 60 degrees angle of bank, and 88 knots is our best glide. So we'll pretty much be on the stall warning during that turn to give us the best chance of returning. But just, a bit under. Okay, we're at 88, sorry, we're at Alpha 8, the holding point Alpha 8 for runway 29 right. We finished our briefing, and our lineup procedure is parking brake on, runway's identified. Transponder's good, air conditioning's off, MFD, we'll zoom this out now. There we go, out to say 2.5 miles. We'll radio the tower, 1328, COM 1. Aircraft landing. Bankstown Tower, X-ray 42's holding point Alpha 8 ready.
X-ray 42 Tower, Alpha 8, cross runway right, line up runway centre.
At Alpha 8, cross runway right, line up runway centre, X-ray 42. Okay,
Foxtrot
we've got
X-ray
30 minute timer going.
Philly Foxtrot
Start our
X-ray.
timer here, parking brakes released, clear left,
Philly Foxtrot Bravo.
clear right. Put our Peter head on.
Bravo, change to runway 29 on right,
Landing lights
number
on.
1.
Approaching runway 29 right. Entered runway
Zulu
29
Foxtrot
right.
X-ray, the
1097
Cessna you're
meters
following is now for a different
remaining.
runway. Change in the sequence, follow the Cherokee on short final.
Acknowledge following the Cherokee on short final, Zulu Foxtrot X-ray.
November Romeo Delta, runway left, clear touch and go.
Okay, we're clear to line up on runway centre. We've got an aircraft landing on runway left.
Approaching runway 29 center.
Runway centre's identified.
Zulu Foxtrot
Entered
Bravo,
runway 29
runway right,
center.
clear.
1,433 meters remaining.
And next will be our after takeoff checks. We'll get the map up. Zoom it in and put it on.
Uniform Juliet, simulated upwards.
Uniform November Juliet.
Ready to go.
X-ray 42, report passing 1,500, runway centre cleared for takeoff.
Runway centre clear for takeoff, X-ray 42. Okay, ready to go.
November Romeo Delta requested crosswind.
November Romeo Delta.
98% power, T's and P's in the green.
Crosswind, November Romeo Delta.
Runway's clear. Airspeed's alive, 2 times.
Runway left, clear touch and go.
Clear touch and go, Zulu Foxtrot X-ray.
50 cross-checked. And we rotate at 65. There's 65, rotate. Bit of right rudder. And we'll pitch for the flight director. There's 200. At 300 we retract the flap at positive rate. Okay, there's 300, positive rate, flaps up. Want to accelerate now to 88. There's 400. Alright, there's 500 and we've got our 88. Come back to our max continuous.
Change to runway 29 on right, number 1.
And fuel pumps can come off and landing and taxi lights can come off. Okay, autopilot can come on at 800. 700, tracking 293, so pretty close. Alright, there's 800, go around, autopilot engaged. Heading bugged, heading mode. 293, we'll just correct for that. And flight level change at 91, so we'll know. Next thing is to report passing 1,500.
The Cherokee turning bases for a different runway.
Tracking 291, looks good. Have a quick
Class
check
Charlie
out.
above.
T's and P's on the engine, it's all good. And 1200 for 15, checklist. Flaps are up. Landing light is off, and taxi lights off, fuel pumps off.
1,500.
9 power set, squawk's good, frequency's good, engine checked,
November Romeo Delta.
and that's all good.
Runway right, clear to land.
Runway right, November Romeo Delta.
X-ray 42 is passing 1,500.
X-ray 42, contact Sydney departures 118.4, see ya.
Departures on 118.4, g'day, X-ray 42. Sydney departures, X-ray 42 is passing 1,600 for 3,000. Bankstown 8 departure.
X-ray 42 departures, morning identified, once maintaining, turn right, heading 350.
Once maintaining, turn right, heading 350, X-ray 42. 350, I'll take a note of that. We're 19 for 3, once we're maintaining 3, turn right 350. Okay, we're good. Checklists are complete for now. What we'll do is we'll pull the chart up for ILS. We're on the chart and we'll start to run through our the rest of our checks. So we'll just have a quick see whether there's new ATIS. It's 10 minutes ago Charlie. So there is, and it's 1023, and wind is variable, 28 still the runway, so that looks good. Charlie. Just keep that heading on Charlie. Okay, so we've got the latest weather. Just got to keep correcting as the wind gets stronger as you get higher. .27 for 3. Let's keep the chart up now. So run through our checklist. So we've got speed on is 100 on the ILS, Cat A. Freedom air checks, we'll run through those now. So fuel over destination's good, although we're still in a climb. Leveling off now. Once maintaining, turn right heading 350. We're holding. Heading mode 350. Okay, so fuel's good. Quick check for traffic. We're at 75% just to slow things down, even 70%, just to give us a little bit of time in this busy phase. Radios are set, we've got our nav radios set, IRI is now displaying. We can actually hear that, possibly. But we don't need to if it's been identified digitally. Engine's in the green. Direction indicator is now, looks like about 350 on the compass. Altimeter is set 1023. Mixture's leaned, not relevant. Icing
X-ray 42, your overshoot instruction on completion of the ILS, make a Richmond.
Okay, so we've got the instruction. We're being vectored, so let's go to vectors to final now. That brings up the localizer, and it also brings up a long approach path here, vector.
790, climbing to flight level 280.
Just check again, 350. The aircraft does sit a little bit out of balance when it's sometimes got to live with it, and sometimes you can correct it with the rudder, with a little bit of a rudder input. Okay, navlog we'll do on the way to Bathurst. Weather radar we've got displayed, airwork details not relevant, performance. So let's run through the scars. So ATIS we've got, Charlie, radios are set. We've got tower set. What we can do now is set 135.9 to get that ready to go. Avionics setup. So vertical, we've got our vertical profile and we briefed it. So we're 275 is the approach course. Pepper is not showing here as the actual chart 1640. Doesn't show on the G1000 for some reason. But otherwise it all looks good. And we're doing the Richmond 3 departure, which, as I said before, means we fly to the departure in the runway in the climb. If we haven't reached 1,000 feet, we turn right into 285. So we maintain 275. If we haven't reached 1,000 feet, we turn right 285. And if we are at 1,000 feet, we turn on track to Bathurst and climb 5,000. So we don't need to do a RAIM check. We've identified now we've got green on the IRI. Go around, we briefed. Automation, we're going to do it hand fly. And there's no airwork details. Descent checks, landing data is received. Charlie, briefing's complete. ComNav FMS is all set up. Runway lighting not required. Seatbelts fastened. Fuel selectors are normal. Fuel transfer is balanced. Parking brakes released, although we're not going to be touching down. Brake pressure's good. Engines are in the green. We'll just have a check of the gearbox. Gearbox is good. Bolts and amps are good. Transponder's good. Air conditioning's not on. Altimeters are set. Fuel pumps can come on now, landing and taxi lights can come on now. Circling area is not needed, alternate air is off, and VREF, I'll leave the pitot heat on, and VREF's closer to 75 knots with our weight today. ABS mode we won't need. For landing, we've got landing taxi fuel, and no need to cancel, so we'll use flaps in the approach. So we're all good there.
Tango Alpha Zulu, turn right, heading 040 towards bus.
See Bubblo's over here.
X-ray 42, turn right, heading 040 towards bus.
Right heading 040, X-ray 42. Okay, that makes more sense. Now we're heading towards a bit more towards Bublo.
Quarter 790, contact Melbourne 133.5.
Say again, quarter 790?
Quarter 790, Melbourne Centre 1335.
1335, quarter 790.
Takeoff time was close to 4-4. 8's in there.
Take up Zulu departures. Morning, be further climb in 1 minute. Turn right, heading 270.
Right, 270.
One more check. Charlie, 1023. I need my sunglasses today.
X-ray 42, turn left, heading 010, base, descend to 2,200.
Left heading 010 and descend 2,200, X-ray 42. 2,200, VS, nose down. Back the power off. Alright, I can see that's a base. It's pretty much square. And we're going to be further in from Bublo. We'll get the descent a little bit faster.
X-ray 42, mile and a half left of the localizer. Turn left, heading 310 to intercept. Cleared ILS Zulu, runway 28. Report established.
Left heading 310 to intercept and cleared the ILS runway 28 Zulu ILS and we'll report X-ray 42. So 310 to intercept makes sense. Sending 25 for 22. Looks like we're picking up the glide path now, the glide slope I should say. We will be intercepting shortly, and we're cleared the approach. It's a visual day. I can see Richmond.
Tango Alpha Zulu, resume navigation direct to Borley.
Resume navigation.
There it goes.
Tango Alpha Zulu.
And next is I'll report established, and then you'll hand me over to the tower. So 2,200, we'll let it level off there. Get the autopilot off. We're one dot high now.
What a 67 heavy, Sydney, good morning.
X-ray 42 is established.
X-ray 42, many thanks. Identification terminated 8 to run. Contact the tower 135.5.
Tower 135.5, X-ray 42. Switch over to the tower. Okay, 1 dot high. Coming down now, we'll get our flap out. We're on speed now. We'll just try to keep that on profile now. A little bit to the left of course there. Richmond Tower, X-ray 42, established ILS, received Charlie and 1 PRB.
X-ray 42, Richmond Tower, report Pebra.
Okay, X-ray 42. Alright, X-ray 42 is Pebra. 1740
X-ray 42,
versus
tail
16.
wind 3 knots, wind ready, go around the front, heading left 260.
When ready, go round, left, heading 260, X-ray 42. 260 is our heading. Bug that. 1100 for
3 mile
260.
final runway 28.
Bug that go around. Left heading 260, which is just a little bit off the runway heading. But that's the Richmond 3. A little bit low. 960 for 260. A little bit more power now.
$500.
Righto, 580, 560 for 260, 100 knots. Starts to get away from you here, it's quite sensitive right at the last minute. Just keep it 400 for 260. 100 to go. Okay, there's 260. Decision is to go miss. Power up.
Minimums.
Pitch up. Pickle up. Hit a right rudder. Gears up. Not relevant. Flaps can come up. Positive rate. We want to maintain runway heading at now, so we'll zoom it in, and so we can see the runway. There's 500. Max continuous now. X-ray 42 missed approach.
X-ray 42, confirm in the go around with a left turn.
Affirm departure and runway left turn 260, X-ray 42.
X-ray 42, contact approach.
Contact approach, X-ray 42. Okay, there's the departure into the runway, left turn, 1,000 feet, 260. And we can get that autopilot on now in the go-round mode. Heading, and we can go flight level change at 93, nose it up a little bit. Sorry. Go 88, contact approach, 1359.
310.
Sydney approach, X-ray 42, missed approach, Richmond 3 departure, passing 1,800 for 5,000, tracking 260.
X-ray 42, Sydney, good day, identified. Continue on the heading.
Continue heading, X-ray 42.
And Tango Alpha Zulu, can I ask a couple of questions there?
Hey, then, Tango Alpha Zulu.
Tango Alpha Zulu, just the nature of your issue, sir.
Just some power surging on the right engine, Tango Alpha Zulu.
Tango Alpha Zulu, understood. And do you expect a normal approach and landing and ops otherwise normal other than the power surging issue?
Ops normal, we're now in manual mode, so yes, all good, Tango Alpha Zulu.
Tango Alpha Zulu, thanks. Any services you want on the ground at Bankstown? And I'm required to ask, there's no on-airport fire service there. Do you need anything else?
Service is not required at this stage, Tango Alpha Zulu.
Tango Alpha Zulu, thanks, and just your POB and any dangerous cargo.
No dangerous cargo, POB3, Tango Alpha Zulu.
Tango Alpha Zulu, thanks. Continue heading 010, and your amended airways clearance is to Bankstown direct.
010, Bankstown direct, Tango Alpha Zulu.
We have an emergency going on.
Direct 6824, climb to flight level 160.
All right, so we're in the climb out now, passing 29 for 5. We can do our I'll just clear our checklist here, and then we'll do our after takeoffs again. So yeah, flaps are up, landing taxi lights can come off now, fuel pumps can come off, and climb power set. Squawk's good, frequency's good, and engine, we'll just have a look at the gearbox, and
on a 67, contact Melbourne, try again, Brisbane, 133.
We'll do the nav log in the cruise, Fred and Mel will be in the cruise, and what I'll do now is
Tango Alpha Zulu, be further descent half a minute. Did you want to...
we can start setting up for Bathurst, and then I'll turn the cameras on later for the actual late stage of the descent. So let's have a look at Bathurst.
Zulu, Roger, will be right turns back to Bankstown.
A few things we can do. One is we can pull Bathurst up on the chart here.
6040, Tango Alpha Zulu.
Okay, we're possibly going to enter a little bit of cloud here. Outside temperature 7, so it looks good for now. So we'll go to Bathurst, we'll press enter, it'll pull up the chart for Bathurst. We can then go down, we can put the AWIS for the weather on COM2 active, and we can put the multicom, which is the CTAF, on COM2 standby. So we've got that set up. We're going to do the NDB approach to runway 17. So let's just brief that now. So 1 to go for 5,000.
Tango Alpha Zulu, descend to 3,000.
AWIS 13325, we've just checked that.
FAir 188, have an emergency aircraft pop up in front of you. You will be number 2 into Bankstown following them. Just reduce
Melbourne
your
Centre,
minimum clean
13525. We'll get that.
Reduce the minimum clean speed, FAir 188. Understood.
13525.
X-ray 42, clear direct to Bathurst, climb to 6 Uckridge into 8,000.
Clear direct Bathurst, climb 8,000, X-ray 42. All right, we're clear direct to Bathurst, so let's go direct Bathurst, enter. Let's go nav. GPS is green, direct Bathurst, 50 miles. And climb 8,000, so
6824, clear direct to Dubbo.
8,000. And I filed 8,000 for this trip because I found this little section where we fly over the mountains at 6,000, you know, with the mountains maybe 3,500. It does get, you get a few bumps from the mountains. So I thought let's go up a little higher today, just see how that goes.
Heavy 188, descend to
Hopefully it's just a little bit smoother.
5,000, heavy 188.
Tango Alpha Zulu, turn right, heading 1.
It just gets us on top of this cloud layer as well, which is nice.
Tango Alpha Zulu.
Passing 5,000 now. So we're getting 1,100 feet a minute at the moment, so we're getting something going on from the mountains. Okay, so continuing our brief here, 12735 for the CTAF. That's bugged on, sorry, that's on COMTU standby there. NDB Bathurst is 383, so ADF 383.
Zulu, understood. Adjust further to the right. Heading
so we're happy with 383. It's tuned, but we're not displaying it yet. So let's go bearing 1, not GPS, ADF, and there it is. And final approach course is 156, which I can see on the profile.
Workload, one further piece of info when you're ready.
Tango Alpha Zulu, go ahead.
Tango Alpha Zulu,
MDA.
5 track miles, you'll be OCJ. I won't be able to vector you, but I'll provide track guidance via Prospect into
So we'll go and put our MDA in. And obviously that's 3710, 3710.
Tango Zulu, understood. Resume navigation, direct Prospect, then Bankstown.
Navigation, direct Prospect, then Bankstown.
3710's tuned, and 3710's also used for circling the land, which we might need to do. So the only difference is visibility, 2.4 kilometres versus 5 kilometres, which I'm expecting to be fine, but we'll check the weather shortly. And 3710's contingent on having the actual QNH. So we'll plug the nearest. It's just useful to know how far we are away from Bathurst or any other airport if we need to go there. So we've briefed the most of the approach here. Just looking at the profile view, what we're planning to do today is to take up the hold at 5,200 over the airfield. We'll do one lap of the hold, and then what we'll do is we'll fly the outbound course on 346, descend to 4,600, and then fly inbound on 156, and then we continue the descent to the MDA on the inbound, once established on the inbound course. And that means within 5 degrees of that inbound course.
Heavy 188, descend to 2,000.
We're going to be using the NDB and ADF to do that.
Thank you.
Descend to 2,000,
so
heavy 188.
the missed approach, if we needed it, would be to turn right, track 185, and climb 5,200. 5,200 makes sense because they're considered on the MSA.
There's a military return.
We're 6.9 for 8,000, so we're getting up well above the clouds now.